This is a legacy.
We seek to honor Betsy Plank's legacy, who believed that public relations was a proud and noble profession.
I see students launched into careers that will have amazing impacts in public relations in the future.
The Plank Center instilled in me the belief that there is always something that you can learn from anyone.
We focus on making sure that we're emboldening, helping, and mentoring people of all different phases.
From award-winning leaders to future industry trailblazers, the best and the brightest in PR are here tonight. Inspired by the legendary Betsy Plank, who frankly rewrote the rules of PR, the Plank Centers had one clear mission: shape the future of public relations by keeping things real and ethical. The center is the vision of the board at University of Alabama, who wanted more than just business as usual. They were determined to create something that pushes the boundaries of PR. With solid research, scholarships, and forums that raise our standards and elevate the next generation of leadership.
And that's because mentoring changes lives.
We don't always get a chance to publicly thank our mentors, but the Milestones and Mentoring Awards give us an opportunity to do just that. Thank and honor our mentors for all they do to accelerate the success of others.
The Gala is important because it recognizes the time, energy, and effort put in by leaders who have dedicated themselves to mentoring the next generation.
You stand on a stage like this and you look at the unbelievable luminaries who are here tonight and who have been a part of this organization and honored by you incredible people. And I think I'm coming pretty close to an Oscar.
The Plank Center is one of the few, if not the only organization that's focus is on students. We bring academics, we bring corporate professionals, and we bring agency professionals, all there to develop programs to support students and where they're going and where they want to go in their careers.
In the summer of 2023, I worked closely with Dr. Gower here in the Plank Center, where I focused on social media content and helping with the Plank Partners Handbook. I will always remember that crafting genuine and meaningful connections is vital to becoming an effective leader.
This past year, I actually was able to sit on a student-led panel for the Plank Summit, where we were able to give our insights and our perspectives on not only the state of Gen Z in the workplace, but also our lives as students and what we were expecting as we began our public relations careers. It really meant a lot to be able to give our perspectives, to give our insights, and have the older generations listen to us, where you typically think of them speaking to us, but we have the opportunity to speak to them. It's been such a fantastic opportunity to talk with different people throughout the different phases of their career, get their perspectives on the ever-changing world of public relations and communications.
We've never needed professional communications people more than we do today. We've never needed the Plank Center more than we do today. I don't care where you are at your stage in life, we all need our cup filled up. And certainly the Plank Center does that for all of us at the various stages of our professional careers.
Mentorship is the key to unlocking the performance of our lifetime. And think how sweet it is when we can all take that final bow together.
And that's the drive behind Milestones in Mentoring Awards. We are so thankful to the mentors who continue to pave the way for the future of the profession.
The African Swahilian phrase for unintentional mentor is Ubuntu. Ubuntu, translated, means I am because you are.
Hello, hello, hello. Can I ask everybody who's kind of in the back of the room to try to find a seat, and if you can't, just stay where you are, but keep the mouths closed so that you can hear our phenomenal presenters tonight and our honorees. I'm Joanne Bishman. I'm the chair of the Planck Center Board of Advisors. I want to welcome you to our 14th Planck Center for Leadership and Public Relations Milestones and Mentoring event. And I wanted to note that we have this phenomenal new piece that kind of talks about Betsy and her legacy and what we did, but you guys were all so busy talking you didn't see it. So I want you all to go to our Planck Center website and take a look at it, because it really is the essence of what we are, who we are, and why we are here. We could not be more excited to be here at the Union League Club, the venue we have always been home for this highly anticipated event, and really is Betsy's home. It's our, as she said, it was her absolute favorite room in the city, and I was speaking to someone earlier who said that part of the reason they belong to the Union League Club is because they knew Betsy and her corner table, and they kind of feel the energy of that, and I think we all do tonight as well. Betsy was a fierce believer in the power of mentorship. I know she would be thrilled to see all of you here tonight, and I know she'd be even more thrilled to know the honorees that we're honoring tonight are here along with their mentees, and we're going to hear from all of them. We are so grateful for them and to honor them. We are also deeply grateful for our sponsors and the generous sponsors that we have, especially our premier sponsor, the IW Group, and our platinum sponsor, Discover. In addition, those noted on the screen, or will be noted on the screen, have contributed in many of the most meaningful ways and made this evening so much more possible. So on behalf of the Planck Center's Board of Advisors and our Milestones community, I want to thank you all. We have a lot of people in this room. I think this is probably one of the biggest groups we've ever had, and we're really enjoying having all of you here. We're joined by many past mentors, mentoring honorees, and if you were a past honoree, would you please stand so that we can recognize you, or if you are standing, stay standing. We are also joined by the hardest working and committed board of advisors that you could ever imagine. So would our current and any past board members please stand? Last year, we welcomed our first group of Planck partners, a diverse community of purpose-driven practitioners and educators whose goal is to share their ideas, insights that foster the development of students and young professionals through virtual and in-person activities. If you're a Planck partner, will you please stand? I know there's a few of you in the room. The Planck partners are excited to launch a new web series called Candid Conversations, led by Jim Motzer and Gary McCormick. The conversations are designed to help emerging professionals develop mentorship relationships that will help drive their careers. The series features milestones and mentoring honorees and their mentees, and explores how to build and sustain a mentor-mentee relationship, and how these relationships helps mentees navigate tricky professional challenges and become successful leaders. So beware, all of you in the front row, you will be tapped by Jim Motzer for these conversations. So far, 3 candid conversations have been produced, with the goal of 6 to be launched in January on the Planck Center's website and promoted on our social media channels. So look for that series coming your way and stay tuned. We also have been busy at Planck, and we have another new program which will be one of our foundational programs called Emerge. Emerge, the Planck Center, and the Grossman Group Leadership Academy. And here to give a brief explanation of Emerge is our Planck board member, Eric Wingfield.
Thank you, Joanne, and good evening, everyone. I must admit, Joanne and I were talking over there, and we were not only impressed by the size of this crowd, but how good looking everyone is. You all look beautiful. So this year we've embarked upon a fantastic initiative that we are calling Emerge. A brief synopsis of how we've got here is that those who've known Betsy Plank, and I unfortunately have not had the privilege and honor to do so personally, but what I've come to learn about my service on this board is two things. She cared deeply about this profession, and she cared even deeper about mentoring and guiding the emerging leaders in this profession. And it's in that spirit that we built a program to do just that, to really contribute in a meaningful and impactful way to our profession, but also create access, guidance, and mentorship to those who are juniors, seniors, as well as in grad school, so they can have a meaningful and seamless transition into our workforce. Emerge is a full 360 program that really invites students in those levels to be able to come in, connect with professionals, engage with a curriculum on leadership in this profession. Dr. Bruce Berger, years ago, coined some research to understand what are some foundational principles that every leader must have to be successful in this business. Not just the technical skills like writing and media relations and crisis comms. Yes, you need all of that. You must have that. But those skills that we often overlook, like self-awareness, networking, business essentials, management versus leadership. Really looking at those principles in tandem and building a curriculum around that as those foundational elements to be able to really talk to what do we want to see in our leaders as we begin to transition and pass them the baton. And there's no better way to start preparing leaders than while they're already in school preparing to enter into our industry and they begin to groom that curriculum. So for that, we are very grateful. But we cannot do it alone. At the Plank Center, we definitely believe in the power of partnership. And that is why we are so very grateful for not only one of our board members, but also putting his action as well as his support and his full resources of his organization to be able to make this happen. And so for that, I want to make sure we acknowledge the Emerge Leadership Academy by the Plank Center and the Grossman Group, and also recognize the CEO and founder of the Grossman Group, David Grossman, for his generous contributions and partnership. So you've heard why we've done Emerge. You hear the reason what it has come to be. They're going to be going through this curriculum. They're going to be also being connected with Plank partners and mentor circles with our wonderful Emerging Leaders Committee, who is in the room as well. But most importantly, they are also going to be connecting with each other to really move to an experience that we will really culminate a year from today. But also, so we heard so much about these students, what they're getting ready to go on to, so let's make sure you see who they are. With the inaugural class of Emerge Leadership Academy by the Plank Center, please stand up. Taking a look at this group, we saw the future of our industry, and we were so proud about how bright that future is. These students that are students now will be our leaders tomorrow. They embody the grit, they embody the compassion, they embody the integrity, they embody the innovation, and they embody the dream to be able to do far more than what we've been able to do today. When we looked at their video applications to really understand why they want to be a part of this program, each of them was carefully selected because we know they're going to, and our board was really confident in the fact that they're going to bring something meaningful to to this industry, and it's our job and our duty to be able to cultivate that today. So take a good look at this group of students. If you have not already gotten their business cards or their contact information, please do, because if you don't get them now, you're lost. So yes, so that's our group. So moving on, I also want to acknowledge, so we do have our Emerge program, our signature program, but we didn't want to just stop there. A tradition for the Plank Center and this event is to make sure that it's not just seasoned professionals and educators, but also a good wealth of students to be able to continue and meet people and build a network. We also offer a travel scholarship for students who are wanting to come and network and engage in this event. And what I would like for those students to please stand as well. Great. And on top of that, we also welcome local area students in the area as well. So anybody who is a student, whether it's undergrad or grad school, would you please stand up as well? If you have not had a chance to meet a student yet this evening, I really encourage you to do so. Students, if you have not had the opportunity to meet a professional yet this evening, it is your duty to do so. We are all here because we know that in order for you to be successful, we have to be able to invest in you as well. And so with that, as we get ready to go into our ceremony, I will encourage everybody to definitely reach out. Remember when it was when you were a student and when you were kind of coming to this profession, and be open to the possibilities of tomorrow by investing in what they are today. Thank you.
So I was waiting to be cued. I guess I missed my cue. Good evening. My name is Nicole Merritt, and it is certainly an honor to be here with you tonight to introduce to you someone whose legacy of mentorship has profoundly shaped my life. One of the things that Oprah Winfrey has said about mentoring is that a mentor is someone, there you go, a mentor is someone who helps you to see the hope inside of yourself. And that is exactly who Ron Culp is. So Ron is a mentor, he's a colleague, and he's a friend to most of us in this room. He's a person who builds relationships that stand the test of time. I know this because Ron and I have been in a relationship for 37 years. And it's still going strong. I was Ron's first, his first intern, that is, at Sarah Lee. At Sarah Lee in 1987. While I might claim some responsibility for inspiring his passion for mentorship, I truly just believe I was in the right place at the right time, thanks to an introduction from my very dear friend, Kim Evans-Rudd. Ron saw the potential in me, and he nurtured it. He created a space for me to grow and to eventually soar. 37 years later, I still see Ron championing my cause, and I still depend on his sage advice, and I know many others do as well. Ron is a PR legend who has achieved nationwide star status. He's endured himself to many, and business leaders, colleagues, and mentees and students alike seek out his wisdom, his unique perspective, and even a little bit of his humor. He generously shares his perspective in his career blog called Culp. And if you guys have not participated in that, you need to look for that because it's really great information. Ron's expansive career is a master class in public relations and in advertising excellence, with an encore chapter, though, in higher education that is equally as remarkable. Ron's imprint on the profession is chronicled in his professional accomplishments, his numerous awards, and his lifetime achievement honors from both Arthur W. Page and PRSA. Most recently, he has been recognized along with his colleagues at DePaul for creating a nationally recognized award-winning public relations and advertising program. But what truly sets Ron apart is his remarkable talent for empowering people to help them recognize their own potential and also paving the way for their success. His mentorship has not only changed careers, but he has also impacted lives in a very profound and lasting way. Tracy Daniels, who's sitting right there, describes Ron as her PR godfather. Luz Agostini calls his influence transformative, and Kevin Seay, I'm not sure where he is, but I know he's in the room, he credits Ron with jump-starting his career. Ron has also championed the concept of paying it forward with his investment of time, talent, and his treasure. Ron and Sandra have established 3 scholarships, one at their alma mater, Indiana State University, for first-gen college students, one at DePaul University, and the annual PRSSA Scholarship for Student Mentors. Tonight, Ron is receiving the Bruce K. Berger Educator Award, honoring individuals whose educational impact has transformed countless students and mentees' lives. I cannot think of anyone who is more deserving of this award at this time in his life than Ron. The truth of the matter is, though, except for one category, and that's the emerging leader, Ron could actually be honored in any of tonight's categories. So without further ado, please join me in congratulating my mentor, my colleague, my friend, and our PR legend, Ron Culp. I'm not done. I'm not done. I'm not done. There is more. Ron, this award is a testament to the legacy that you have built, to the countless of lives that you have touched. Anyone who considers themselves a mentee of Ron Culp, please stand for me. Stay standing. So Ron, please stay standing. So Ron, on behalf of all of us, thank you for your unwavering commitment to mentorship and for showing each of us how to discover and fulfill our own potential. Maya Angelou, I think, sums up your life well. She says, if you've learned something, teach. If you have received something, give. Thank you. Ron, come to the podium.
Oh, I had to quit while I'm ahead. Thanks for choking me up a bit. I'm glad you quickly filled in the blank on my first. Sandra was doing like this, really? I'm like, holy cow, what's that? I mean, it's a long time ago. Things were pretty wild back then at Sarah Lee. Anyway, bless you, Nicole. 37 years, it's just been totally amazing. There, you can hear me better? Wonderful. Anyway, I'm honored to be the first pracademic to receive this award. Pretty unbelievable. Bruce Berger, who's been a friend forever and ever. Bruce, you're back here. I was looking for you in the back of the room, always looking over us. Accepting anything that's named in his honor is itself an honor. So thank you, Bruce and Nicole, for that incredible introduction. You know, as Bruce and Nicole did during as Bruce did during his long career, Nicole also adopted this whole belief in the importance of internships and mentoring. And both have done phenomenal jobs and helped so many people in the process. So I'm thrilled that Bruce is here. I was worried I didn't see you earlier. And like Nicole, there have been many other strong women and many men who played significant roles in my life. As many of you know, after a long, varied career, it looked like I was a job hopper. I had the good fortune of ending up, surprisingly, at DePaul University. And I went on a lark thinking it'd be a year, and this year will be my 15th year. It's the longest I've stayed anywhere. And so tonight and throughout my career at DePaul, people say, how did this happen? And I love telling the story. It's an important one. It was quite accidental, but quite fortuitous. In 2009, the Planck Center had a program that was the Planck Center created the Academic Fellows Program, and it was named, and we were assigned Teresa Mattson from DePaul, who came in and watched our operations and activities for a couple of weeks and then comes back and incorporates that into the curriculum at DePaul. And shortly after she was there, Teresa introduced me to Dean Jackie Taylor. And she was doing a search for someone to be the professional director of the program and identified somebody. And that person we were very excited about was going to come into the program. And then she turned us down because she didn't really have the relationships in Chicago that she thought she needed in order to really do the job effectively. So I go in and Jackie is, there you are. I go in and meet Jackie, and we have a conversation again about just exactly what do you want, Jackie? And Jackie said, well, I want you, but I can't afford you. And I said, you sure in the hell got that right. Or something to that effect. Anyway, it was I went home, by the way, that evening, and I told Sandra, and she calls it a chuckle. I think it was outright laughter that I was going to consider giving up the Ketchum opportunity for doing something crazy like this. So we kind of poo-pooed it. Tried to sleep that night. I couldn't. I got up the next morning, and as soon as I thought Jackie might be in the office, I called her, and I said, were you serious about that? And she said she absolutely was. And I said, well, she said that she wanted to make it happen. How do we make it happen? And she seemed a little incredulous that I was even going to consider it. Faculty members, all of you here, do not get paid enough money. It is way below minimum wage, but that's an aside. Another story, another day. So anyway, I told her, by the way, I really don't have the academic credentials, and please, dear God, don't look at my GPA. and I said, you really probably don't have it. That was so long ago. And she said, oh yeah, they'll have it. So anyway, despite those credentials, she took a lark and hired me. And for that, I am forever grateful. Say hello to Jackie Taylor. She, by the way, early on, to allay my fears about not being qualified, but you have a PhD in experience. That sealed the deal. I loved it, and I think a lot of academics here who might be considering teaching should really think seriously about these opportunities. It is life-changing. Okay, while I wish it were possible to thank a zillion people, I do have to point out that among those strong women in my career at DePaul are two deans that supported me and my colleagues, and they just have been phenomenal after Jackie went on to be the provost at New Jersey University. So I would like to have you welcome, and I don't see where they're sitting, but you'll see them, Lexa Murphy. Lexa. Hi, Lexa. Always keeping an eye on us. And also the dean, now provost at DePaul, Selma Ganem. Selma? Anyway, thank you very much. Another, I guess why I'm thanking strong women, oops, there's one I have to thank. Nothing in my career would have happened without my wife of 53 years, Sandra Culp. I'm not worthy. Anyway, so I get, and then I can't possibly forget somebody who personifies one of the greatest mentors and mentees. We don't know who's doing what from time to time, and that is my colleague, my dear friend, and outstanding co-author, Matt Regis. So, I'm almost through, Carla. Do not get the hook. While I wish it were possible to share this award with everyone here that I know, which is remarkable how many of you I know, I do want to thank everyone who has helped create the very special award-winning PR program at DePaul. So I'm going to start with, I'm just going to introduce them all at one time, and that way we get everyone up and I get off the stage sooner. I would like all our alumni, our current students, faculty, and all the professionals who have come into our classroom over the past few years. Would you all please stand? Okay. I got to work on this side of the room. Anyway, please, when any professor asks you would you come to my classes, would you speak in my classes, accept it. It is absolutely one of the most invigorating things you can imagine. I had 4 professionals in class last night. We went late, and I kept apologizing, and they considered it an inspiring evening. Susan Henderson was one of them. I know she's here, and they were as inspired as the students were to get the feedback from these professionals. And then finally, and Joanne mentioned her, a lot of this wouldn't have been possible if the seed hadn't been planted by Betsy Plank. And it happened actually over in that's where her table was, where the one standing table is. And we'd met when we were talking about, she wanted to form the Planck Center, Bruce Berger and I and a couple of other people. And at the end of it, she said, "You have to teach." And I said, "I can't afford to teach." And so every time she saw me, she said, "At least you're mentoring. Now I want you to consider teaching." And so she was one of the drivers of that. So I really have to thank her as well. But the other piece of advice that she said is to surround yourself with people that bring joy to your lives. And I've certainly done that throughout my life. And I thank you all for that. And I certainly thank you for this amazing honor. It's certainly joyful to receive. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Tammy Myrick, and it is an incredible honor and privilege to be here with you tonight to talk to you a little bit about Dr. Chuck Wallington and the impression that he has left on my life. As I thought about what I was going to say tonight, I kept coming back to a principle that he has lived by and has taught me very well: to be a leader. Not just in public relations, communications, or marketing, but in ways that add value to a business, my life, and in the lives of others. It reminds me often of one of his favorite Bible verses from the book of Esther, "For such a time as this." That verse speaks to being placed in a moment of favor and influence, not for yourself, but for the benefit of those around you. If I had to sum up Chuck's leadership and mentorship in one phrase, it would be just that: for such a time as this. I'll be honest with you, when I first met him, I wasn't exactly sure what to expect. I was a much younger whippersnapper at the time. It's about like 10 plus years ago. And here he comes, dressed to the nines in his signature bow tie, looking like he could lead a board meeting and also win best dressed at the same time. If you've seen him, you know what I'm talking about. But beneath his impeccable style was someone who saw people for who they were and also who they could become. I remember my first skip level meeting with Chuck. I shared a dream of being more than my title suggested at the time. He didn't just listen like others often do. He held on to that dream, and he helped me realize it. He taught me that leadership is about helping others see and achieve their potential, even when we don't see it for ourselves. There were also moments when his leadership showed me what it meant to stand firm in who I am as a person. I vividly remember facing racism in the workplace and also personal tragedy. But Chuck didn't fight my battles for me. He gave me the tools and confidence to speak up and make pivotal decisions grounded in both my values and also my faith. He also taught me that professional communications is both an art and a science. The art lies in telling authentic stories that resonate and inspire others. The science lies in grounding your work in strategy and outcomes that drive impact. It's a lesson that has shaped how I approach my work and how I lead others today. Through all of it, he showed me how to lead with both strength and grace, qualities I now try to model in my own leadership. Chuck always told me, "You'll have a story to tell." He was right. Today, I stand here as a chief marketing officer of a nonprofit myself. I appreciate the applause. I truly never imagined myself in this position, but he did. He encouraged me to stretch well beyond my expertise, to pursue my MBA as a wife, a mom of two, a full-time employee, and to find balance in the different seasons of life all the while. Now, I not only have a story to tell, I know how to use it to encourage others just as he has encouraged me. But his story doesn't stop here. This is also my shameless plug now. He's an author of a book based on doctoral research into why there are so few Black men in public relations and the C-suite. He uncovered that a lack of mentorship and sponsorship are root causes of this issue, a problem he's dedicated his own life to solving. He's opened doors for countless others, ensuring they have opportunities for such a time as this. And through all of it, he's taught me to celebrate success, even the smallest of wins. After a very minor accomplishment in my eyes, he'd often ask, "What are you going to do to celebrate?" It was a simple question at the time, and what it did was remind me to pause and acknowledge the journey and the people who are faithfully alongside us, including our spouses, Sandra and Nolan. It wasn't just about the destination, it was also about the journey. So, today, as he receives the Betsy Plank Award, we celebrate not just his accomplishments, but his legacy. A legacy of leadership that stretches well beyond his expertise and touches so many lives. Chuck has shown us that being a leader means making room for others, leveraging influence to lift them up, and inspiring them to tell their own stories. So I'm going to channel my inner Chuck tonight, and I'm going to leave you with a call to action. Take a minute, not a minute, a few seconds. Consider what stories you want to create and tell. It is for such a time as this that his story has made a mark, an indelible impression on the world. And it's an honor to recognize him tonight as an outstanding mentor, friend, pioneer, and recipient of the Betsy Plank Award. Congratulations, Chuck.
Tammy, thank you so very, very much for those heartfelt remarks. Audience, I want you to know that most of you are meeting Tammy Myrick for the first time this evening. I can assure you it will not be the last time that you hear from Tammy Myrick. The good Lord, in my opinion, has ordained some amazing things for you, Tammy, things beyond your wildest imagination. And all you have to do is to continue to believe and to continue to walk into his will and way. And I assure you, he will open up the windows of heaven and pour you out blessings you've not even thought about. I assure you that is going to happen. So Tammy, thank you so very, very much. And I thank my Creator, the one who continues to bless me in so many ways. And one of those blessings is my wife, Sandra. Sandra, will you please stand? I am crystal clear, folks, that all that I've been blessed to accomplish in my life is due first to my Creator and then to my wife. She's my #1 fan. She's my #1 cheerleader. And guys in the room, she's also the one who reminds me every Monday night that the trash men are coming on Tuesday and those cans need to be rolled to the street. So Sandra, thank you. And to the Plank Center Board of Directors, I am honored beyond measure to receive this prestigious award named for Betsy Plank. Betsy, as you all know and have heard, is a leader legend in our profession. She's a Renaissance woman. She's a public relations icon. She was always a champion of the next generation in our profession. And her life and her legacy live on through the gift of her estate to the University of Alabama to establish the Planck Center for Leadership in Public Relations. And for our guests among us who may not know, let me just give you a little bit more information about that. So the Planck Center is committed to, and I quote, empowering and advancing the next generation of emerging leaders in our profession through mentorship, programming, education, and fostering meaningful connections. So it's in the space the Planck Center's focus on mentorship that I want to pause and tell you a bit of my story. My story. I've been working in the field of public relations and communications for 40 years. Yes, that's longer than many of you in this room have been on this earth, right? It is. Now, over the course of my career, I've had a lot of amazing sponsors and allies, people who say nice things about me when I'm not in the room. And it's not lost on me that I would not be where I am if it were not for them. But what I've missed throughout most of my career is mentors. I had a couple very early on in my life and in my career. One of the most meaningful mentors in my life passed away of a massive heart attack many years ago, and I've never been able to replace that role in my life as a mentor. But somewhere along the way, I decided that because I don't have a mentor, that's okay. I decided that with the support of my sponsors and allies, that I could still be successful in my life and in my career. And so as I've advanced my own career, particularly as I've been able to be blessed and to rise along the way, I decided that part of what I am supposed to do, part of my very being on this earth, is to be for others the mentor that I never had. And so I acknowledge that part of why I was created is to fill a void for others who simply want someone to say to them, your career is a priority for me. Your goals, your dreams, the opportunities that are out there for you are a priority for me. At the end of the day, those who have mentors and those who want mentors simply want someone to say, I'm in your corner. I've got your back. I don't have all the answers for you, but I will provide for you a safe space so we can have open and honest conversations so that you can arrive at the right answer for you and for your life. That, friends and colleagues, is what being a mentor is all about. And so I want to offer a challenge. If you're in this room and you're blessed to have a mentor, then continue to reach out to your mentor. And for those of you who are mentors to the mentees, be there. Be available. Call them. Reach out to them. In many ways, when they run across your mind, that's probably your cue from your creator to say, you know what? Let me give you a call. Let me issue a text. It's typically at that moment in time that your mentees need to hear from you. Now, for those of you here in this room, students, working professionals, if you're not blessed to have a mentor, guess what? It's okay. Somewhere along the way, I heard that part of what we have to do as human beings is we have to encourage ourselves, right? We have to encourage ourselves. It's okay if you don't have someone out there who's in your corner. Believe in yourself. Understand what you were created to do and why you were created to do it. And go off and do it. And I assure you that along the way, someone will be placed into your life, and that person will join you in encouraging yourself. So as I take my seat, I'm committed to mentorship because I never really had a mentor. I always wanted a mentor. And I am reminded of the words of President Barack Obama, who said the following: change will not come if we wait for some other people or for some other time. We are the ones that we've been waiting for. We are the change that we seek. So it's in that spirit that I invite each and every one of you to embrace the vision of Betsy Plank, who believed in her heart and in her soul and at her core that mentorship matters. Mentorship makes the next generation. Mentorship is the privilege that we get to have as we look around us and within our circles of influence and we say, I see potential, I see greatness, and I want to be a part of bringing all that to pass. And so I thank you for this esteemed honor, and I invite you to join me in answering the call of Betsy Plank as we keep mentoring and as we keep leading. I thank you.
Good evening. Please forgive me as I have forgotten my readers, as my grandmother would say. My name is Imani McClendon. I am a licensed realtor and developer in Northern New Jersey, and it is my privilege to be here with you and my highest pleasure and honor to present the 2024 Agency Award to my mentor, Teneshia Jackson Warner. Teneshia's bio is filled with accolades that reflect her intelligence, her passion, her innovative spirit, and relentless commitment to a more inclusive industry. But beyond her impressive achievements, what truly sets Teneshia apart is her heart and her deep commitment to mentorship. Recently, I heard someone describe mentorship as being not a la carte, meaning one person cannot support you in every area of life, from school to career to spirituality and beyond. And I thought, clearly you haven't met a mentor like mine. There have been many memorable moments with Teneshia, but I want to speak to the one that laid the foundation for our decade-plus relationship. In the summer of 2012, I was a participant in a youth summer enrichment program where Teneshia was a guest speaker. During one session, I shared my dream of attending Spelman College with her and a few others. Teneshia immediately saw that dream for me even more vividly than I had seen it for myself. While I was confident I would get into Spelman, paying for it was the ultimate hurdle. One day, she called me, not only to offer her support and dry my tears, but to pray with me. She even proposed that we fast together for 2 weeks, giving up meat to focus our intentions on my dream. Looking back, though, I kind of laughed, knowing she was already a pescatarian. But for me, it was the gesture that showed her unwavering belief in my goals. As college move-in day approached, Teneshia somehow convinced my parents to let me spend the day with her at her office. We used the entire day to strategize ways to bridge the financial gap, making phone calls to her network, searching for grants, and sharing my fundraising page. But unfortunately, most deadlines had already passed, and some of the aid that we did find, I didn't qualify for. I left her office a bit more defeated than I had went in, but true to form, Teneshia gave me more encouraging words and prayed for me before dropping me off home. Unbeknownst to the both of us, things had already been in motion. That same evening, I came home to a large envelope from Spelman. Thinking it was a term bill, dressed nicely, I was in no rush to open it whatsoever. But inside, I later found a full 4-year scholarship offer letter. It was not only an answer to our prayers, but a testament to Teneshia's faith in the unseen possibilities. Her mentorship has been a constant source of strength, encouragement, and light in my life. She has redefined the mentor-mentee relationship, proving that an a la carte mentor does exist. One that offers a unique, holistic relationship, supporting and challenging you to stretch. Teneshia, I want to express my deepest gratitude for you as a mentor, friend, soror, and so much more. You have always made me feel seen, heard, and understood. Your authentic compassion, fortitude, nurturing spirit, and steadfast guidance towards my dreams, no matter how big, have been truly life-changing and taught me countless lessons on perseverance and grit. I am sure all of your other mentees feel the same. As you accept this award, please know how profoundly deserving you are. Congratulations.
We weren't supposed to tell stories to make us cry, Imani. I want to start by saying thank you. And Imani, thank you for those kind words. I had no idea what she was going to say. I want you to know that your life has also blessed my life. And little did Imani know that particular night, after praying in the office and dropping her off and really, really wanting her to be able to go to Spelman, even I was like, okay, God, we need a miracle. And when she called me the next day, I was in a car, and I'll never forget, somebody was pumping my gas, because in New Jersey, you can't pump your own gas. And when she told me, I screamed so loud, I scared the man that was pumping the gas. But that also increased my belief, Imani, in miracles, and that God just shows up in miraculous ways. So thank you. I also would like to thank the Plank Board of Directors and the Plank team for making the summit and gala so amazing. I would like to thank my Igami group team that is in the room, Jordan, Laura, wherever you all are. I can't see you, but you being here tonight means the world. And to my Zeno family, you all know Zeno runs deep. Grant, thank you for nominating me. And Barbie, thank you. Barbie is my friend, my partner, and my mentor. And I want you to know I am eternally grateful for our special bond. I also would like to thank my husband, Michael Warner, who I wish you all could meet him. He is absolutely amazing. He's my partner in life and in business. Yes, we run the business together. It can be good some days and, on other days, very challenging. Michael is not here tonight. On Tuesday, we experienced an unexpected loss. His father passed away of a heart attack. And when we spoke shortly after, he said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm on my way back home. I'm leaving Chicago and I'm coming back." He was like, "Are you crazy?" He was like, "That whole award is about the next generation. Dad would want you there." And so once he said it, I knew, no, I'm going to stay because Mr. Warner would want that. So a couple comments here. The very first time that I attended this award, I knew something magical and special was in this room. It was my first time ever experiencing an award that celebrated the idea of mentorship. So I kept hearing Betsy Plank, Betsy Plank. I did not know Betsy and I'd never heard of her up until that point. So I left and I started researching who is Betsy Plank. And as I researched her, I could relate to her story. Betsy was from Alabama, Tuscaloosa, and I am also from Dothan, Alabama. Yes, sweet home, Alabama. I know y'all are in the room because I've been meeting a few of you. She also went to college in Alabama, University of Alabama, and I went to college at Alabama A&M and HBCU in Alabama. She also unexpectedly found herself in PR and somehow landed an opportunity in the big city of Chicago. I also unexpectedly landed a career in PR and found myself in the big city of New York. So there were so many things where I could relate to her story. And as I went through, there's not enough time for all of the first female president of the Publicity Club of Chicago, the creator of the Public Relations Society of America, creator of Champions for PRSSA, and she was a social activist. She participated in the Civil Rights March from Selma to Montgomery, Alabama. So as I was reading this story, it was clear to me that I was reading the life story of a woman that understood two things. One, the power of a dream, and two, the power of being the one. The power of a dream. Our dreams have the power to expand. Our dreams also enroll others in our vision. Our dreams can become a collective dream shared by many, and our dreams actually can outlive us, living even when we are gone. So I want you to take a look around the room right now. And we are indeed sitting in the living dream of Betsy Plank. So our dreams actually become our legacy. On this night, I want to challenge us to get in tune with what is our dream for our industry. And actually, right now, for a time such as this, Chuck, I even would like to challenge us to think about what is our dream for our nation. To the next generation of talent, allow yourself time over the next few days to ponder that. Think about what your dream is for our industry. Think about what is your dream for our nation. And each day, live with intention and take daily action to have that dream realized. Secondly, the power of being the one in someone's life. And when I say the one, I don't mean just the one. I mean that one mentor that makes the difference, that one mentor that comes into your life and changes the trajectory of your career, that one mentor that participates in the aha moment when you say, wait a minute, I'm passionate about this. Could my purpose be tied to this? And could I also make a profession? There's nothing like when you have that aha moment. How many of you in this room can remember the one in your life by show of hands? So young talent, look around. The one can actually play a role that has a ripple effect, not only in the life of the one that it has impacted, but a ripple effect in impacting our world. To my industry colleagues that are receiving awards tonight for mentoring, I want to say to you, congratulations, and I want to say thank you for being the one in the lives of so many others. And to the next generation of talent, what about those Emerge students? So I want you to know, y'all are coming up, you are doing the job. I've met probably all of you. Two things that I want to say to you. One is, I would like you to make us a promise that you will be the one in as many lives as you can possibly touch. I also would like you to make us a promise that you will believe in the power of your dream. Thank you.
When I come up to a podium, have to lower. You know I'm only 5 feet tall, right? I'm just saying. I'm Joanne Tabalea Murphy. I'm from Walmart, and I work on Tony Waller's team. And you know, typically, you wouldn't be the one, you don't have the one who works for someone and say, he's my mentor. But that's not true in this case. In this case, he is one of my mentors, and he's one of my dear mentors. One of the things that Tony has shared with me, I've worked for Walmart for 11 years, I've worked with Tony for 11 years. One of the things that he shares with all of us is something that his mom shared with him, and it leads him with his purpose in life. And I'm going to share that with you. She says, and he says, keep flowing with the river, for the river knows exactly where it's going. I'm going to say that one more time again so you can think about that. Keep flowing with the river, for the river knows exactly where it's going. Thank you for sharing that with us, Tony, because it makes us think about where we're going. Now, part of the problem with me is I'm the one who's always going upstream. So the river, you know, the river flowing one way and me going the other way. Anyway, Tony mentors me on that and tells me, Joanne, keep flowing with the river. He also has, and this, you may not read it in his bio, but he also has this brilliance about him. He has this YouTube series called Real Talk at the Barbershop. Please, please, look it up. The guests that he has, there's so much authenticity in the discussion that they share. You learn from that. And as one of his mentees, I learn and embrace some of the things that are shared and said. Tony also has this brilliance about him. He is kind and generous and gives of himself to nonprofits. He models all the time what we should be doing for other people, not just for ourselves. And in that giving spirit, he's taught me and many of my colleagues and many of my teammates that it's when you give of yourself, you get so much back in return. I will tell you that he competed in the Northwest Arkansas Dancing with Our Stars Gala. That yeah, I know, right? That benefits the Children's Tumor Foundation. And I'm just so proud of him for doing that. Tony, thank you so much for supporting those children and putting yourself out there on the dance floor. We got to see a little bit of video on that. You guys need to look that up, I have to tell you. And that kind of leads me, when it comes to dancing, about his love for shoes. Yes, I'm going to share this. Tony loves shoes. If you met him and you saw him earlier today on the stage at the summit, you should check out his shoes. I'm just saying. Yes, don't be shy about that. I will tell you, too, that he had, oh man, you probably don't even remember this, but he told me at one time that each pair of shoes has its own personality. Each pair of shoes has its own purpose. And I never really thought about shoes having purpose, but Tony takes care of his shoes. And he takes a lot of pride of them. He gives them room to grow. In fact, he has a room of shoes, right? So he really cares about his shoes. And now you're wondering, what do shoes have to do with mentoring, right? Well, shoes have a lot to do with mentoring. And this is the reason why Tony so deserves the Jack Koten Corporate Award. I think Tony approaches mentoring kind of like how he cares about his shoes. Now, granted, this is Joanne's opinion. This may not be shared by my colleagues at Walmart, but Tony sees each of us as a very special pair of shoes. Yeah, we each have our own personality. We each have our own purpose. And by the way, Tony was the one who helped me find, after a long journey, my personal purpose in life. And Tony, that has meant the world to me, because I lead every single day with that purpose. Even though you made us try to make our own mission statements with only 10 words, and I went 25 words, and I said, this is my purpose. This is my mission statement. And he said, woman, you're going to drive me crazy. No, but he gave me the confidence to push back and say, this is my statement. This is my purpose. And that's what a good mentor does. A good mentor builds confidence in you, lets you know that you go your own way. Tony also looks out for his mentees. Last week, I had a really difficult week. I was in the hospital in Mexico and almost didn't make it. And Tony is such a great leader and a great mentor. He said, you take care of yourself. In fact, this morning he said that. He said, you're more important to your family, to your husband, your grandchildren, your children. You're important to our business and our company, but they come first, and you come first. And that's what a good leader and a good mentor emphasizes. He also gives us room to breathe, just like his shoes. He gives us space to grow. Yes, I know. But I have to tell you that his shoes are the best. Anyway, he does give us room to breathe and room to grow and room to fail. And I'm confident, and this has happened way too many times, he gives us room to fail fast. And failing fast is how you grow the most. That's how you develop from a personal and professional perspective. He gives of himself to his mentees, and that's what a good mentor does. Like Jack Koten, Tony's principled and committed to what he believes in, and that's about helping others and caring about people. He connects these attributes to the business he carries out, whether it be through work or church or volunteering and dancing for nonprofits. He inspires us to be thoughtful and generous with our time and our energy. That's why I'm thrilled not only to be his mentee, not only to work with him and for him, but also because of what he gives to all of us. Congratulations, Tony. Come on up.
Well, I said I was going to act right tonight. But then Ron Culp, and then Chuck, and then Teneshia decided to act up, which gives me the right to act up as well. And Dr. Gower, I blame all of them. So please don't be looking at me like this is all on me. They empowered me to act up. And that's going to give you time to go act up too. Joanne, first and foremost, thank you very, very much for those kind remarks. And yes, I do love my shoes. Shoes are everything. Shoes can cure everything. People don't know that sometimes, the one thing that I love about living where I live is that I live 3 minutes from the office. And at times, at lunchtime, I will go home and I change my shoes. Especially on those days where it did not start off so very, very well, because I believe that I have the power of starting my day any way I want, whenever I want. And my symbol of that is to go home and change my shoes. So when I have that bad day, I go up and down my closet and I say, speak to me. One of you, speak to me. And all of a sudden, this glow comes over that perfect pair. And I come out and I change. And sometimes it requires me to change my entire outfit for the day because those particular shoes just don't work. Now, when that happens, people come wondering, oh my God, what a morning did he have that caused him to start his day all over that way? But I didn't change my shoes today, even though I should have, because Teneshia acted up today. For all of y'all who were at the thing this afternoon, at the summer this afternoon, girlfriend was fly, okay? She was P-H-L-Y fly, because the way she was doing, you need to spell it with 4 letters and not just 3. And when I went back to my hotel room, I was like, you know something? Teneshia gonna do me wrong. I just know it. I should be changing my clothes. I'd be changing my shoes. But I said, no, she gonna do me right. And had the nerve to sashay off that elevator. I was like, I've learned my lesson. The lesson is go with your gut, brother. Go with your gut. Now I'm going to get out here and do what I'm supposed to do. For real, thank you all so very, very much for this award to the Planck Center. I'm overwhelmed by this. I'm not one that kind of enjoys awards. It's just kind of not my thing. But I've learned the lesson over the years that it ain't all about me, right? And so I accept this on behalf of so many of you who often don't get recognized for the mentoring work that you do, who often don't even realize the kind of thing that you are doing to change people's lives. It's that one word, it's that one moment, it's that one whatever, right, that often does not get recognized. And actually, we're not supposed to be recognized for it, right? We just do what we're supposed to do. So I accept it on behalf of all of you who are mentoring every day and don't even realize you're doing it, because you are making such a difference in people's lives. So I thank you for that. I did not have the pleasure of knowing Jack Koten, but I've learned so much from him. His commitment to the craft, his commitment to integrity, and his commitment to mentoring others. I am so very, very grateful for this recognition that is being bestowed upon me, but I'm more grateful for what this recognition reaffirms. It is a reminder of what my mother instilled in me at a very young age. She always reminded me that I was meant to be great. But she quickly added, baby, you ain't the only one that's meant to be great. We are all meant to be great because our Creator only creates great things. So ladies and gentlemen in the room, students in the room, you were created for greatness. The world may try to tell you something else. Don't believe them. Because at the end of the day, it ain't what they call you, it's what you answer to. You are all meant to be great. She then reminded me that I was created for the benefit of somebody else and that I had an assignment to complete. And so I honor my assignment doing what I can to make sure that others leave better than when they came in contact with me. In the words of the late Quincy Jones, the only justification to look down on anyone is that you are going to stop and pick them up. Last but not least, I want to thank those who nominated me for this award. And I want to thank my leader, Gerard Dearman. You're an amazing, amazing boss. I call him my SBM, my super boss man. To Lee Culp, my super boss man emeritus, who mentored me for, bless his heart, he should have quit on me, but he never gave up on me, who now worked so hard to help me to move up from being an associate of his, but then to turn around and be his peer. You know, that's some brave motor scooter, shut your mouth stuff. You know, so I thank you for that. To this day, he is one of my dearest friends. I love him to life. Lord have mercy, we have fought because we could not be more opposite. I am love, peace, Mother Earth, power to the people. He is sensible. Come on, let's do this thing the right way. I'm a lumper, he's a sorta. But that man has never given up on me. He's always been my champion. He's always rooted for me. And I have been at Walmart for 18 years, and one of the reasons that I'm still at Walmart is because of Lee Culp. To my peers, Maggie Sands, Nicolas Infante. Yeah, I'm gonna do it right, bruh. Thank you for always being champions for me. It is a pleasure working with you all every day. I love being on this team with you. I have learned so much from you. I am just grateful for just the work that we do. It is an honor to be on this team with you guys. To members of my team who are here, Roz Silva and Joanne Tabelea Murphy and Dr. Pepe Estrada, thank you for all that you do to make the work that I do just do. It's just awesome. And it is a pleasure to have an amazing team like y'all working with me. I tell them all the time, I am here just to guide you through the next juncture of your journey. And yet they still are hanging with me. Lord have mercy, bless their hearts. But I thank you for that. And last but not least, to all the other honorees, it really is my true honor to be named with you all. The last thing I will leave you is for the students. Remember this. You have an assignment to accomplish in this world, and it's not your job. The question is, what is your assignment? What were you put on this earth to do in the limited amount of time that you have? What is your assignment? Remember that your job, your experiences, your friendships, your mentor relationships, all these are just tools that have been given to you to help you carry that assignment out. And I promise you this, if you just trust the river and you honor your assignment, I promise you, your reward will come. And I am evidence of just that. Trust the river, honor your assignment, and your reward will come. Thank you very much.
Good evening. Thank you so much to the Planck Center and its leadership for such an enjoyable evening. My name is Erin Slay-Wilson, and it's my pleasure to be here tonight introducing and celebrating a friend, mentor, and professional role model. As many of you probably already know, a lot of this will be review. Leah, Seay, Anise is just an exemplary PR professional, and I'll pause here and say, what an amazing night it's been for us to sit next to each other and to kind of look down the road at the leaders ahead of us, ahead of her as she's being honored as an emerging leader, to just see the best is yet to come. And there's a lot to look forward to in our industry, just from the examples that are set here. So thank you so much for that. So back to Leah. She has worked at some of the world's largest and most ubiquitous brands already, and she's just getting started at Uber, Amazon, GM, and then most recently OpenAI. And she's led teams and projects in DC, Detroit, San Francisco, and if those weren't impressive enough, Australia and Japan. She's also, and I think most importantly, a leader in all capacities of her life. She works closely with the Planck Center to support the next generation of PR professionals and is an active member of the PRSA Foundation. She sees the ways that organizations can grow and improve, and she gets her hands dirty helping them get there. She's a very active participant. She's also an amazing mentor to me and to countless others I know, including students who receive a scholarship through a fund that she set up to support aspiring communicators. She did this in her 20s, and I just find that to be so inspiring that she was already looking for ways to lend a hand back to those coming up behind her. She's just, put simply, an inspiring person, and it's just a joy to watch her succeed. I know many in this room feel the same way. I'll also note that I predicted she would win this award a few years ago, and here I am, and I'm predicting that many more accolades will be in your future. I first knew Leah as a student at Auburn University. If you were at all involved on campus, you had heard of Leah and her would-be husband, Olabode, as well. Leah was just as passionate and future-focused in college as she is today, and I suspect, I know her family is here, that she's always been that way. Leah and I were friends at Auburn, seeing each other on campus and at different meetings. I was a couple of years behind her in school and certainly admired her as she excelled her way through the PR program and campus organizations in general. As a younger PR student, Leah was a friend that I always looked up to and thought, wow, I bet I'll read about her someday. or see her stunning engagement photos in a magazine like Andrew and I were talking about earlier, you just nod and say, of course. We've always kept in touch, just via social media after she graduated, and I continued on in the PR program there. And when I think our friendship really deepened and continued was a few years later. I was trying to decide whether to attend graduate school at the University of Alabama, and she reached out to me. Full time. She offered to help me with the entire process, and even gave me a tour of campus and set up introductions with key faculty members just to help me secure funding. And I'll kind of embarrass myself a little bit. Before I came to the University of Alabama, I didn't really know a lot about PR as an industry, and Leah was a huge part of opening my eyes to things like the Planck Center and different aspects of the profession. I really learned then what it felt like to have Leah on your team. She was gracious in so many ways and encouraged me throughout graduate school, and as I applied for and took my first job. She continues to do this and champion my career and support me in so many ways with texts, phone calls, editing my resume at different times, interview tips, advice, and the candles in the mail as well, which are great. Throughout her transitions to bigger roles, organizations, and cities, she's remained just a true friend and mentor to me. Even though our career paths have looked different, she's been a faithful mentor in all seasons, regularly checking in with me, pushing me to ask for more at my jobs, and helping me see my own potential and future opportunities. This is important, ladies. Leah is the mentor and friend who taught me about salary negotiations and coached me through asking for what I deserve, so I'm very thankful for that specifically. And she did all of this while working in Australia, Japan, California, juggling what I can only imagine was a massive workload while still reaching out to support me throughout my career. I really credit her with being the reason I have my current job, and she spent weeks helping me prepare for that whole hiring process, which was just above and beyond. In closing, and I think it's interesting, this has been sort of a through line of all of tonight's honorees introductions, I think it's worth noting that I've known Leah for nearly 10 years. I was going over my intro with my husband, and I was just struck by the fact that Leah has been in my world for a really long time, and I've always felt the same about her. From a young student admiring a new friend at Auburn to a 30-year-old professional introducing a longtime mentor, I have gotten to watch her succeed and take me, and I'm sure many others, along with her. Leah keeps people, she champions them, and she makes them feel important, and I can't imagine better qualifications for a recipient of this award. She is humble, smart, kind, and confident. She knows what she wants, and she goes for it. She also encourages her mentees and friends to do the same. I often tell her that one day she'll be in a Fortune 500 boardroom, and I'll brag that she's my mentor and my friend. In true Leah fashion, she'll just laugh and ask me about myself, my dog, my life, my work. I'm just so glad that she's getting the recognition she deserves tonight. I know I speak for so many in this room and beyond when I say that I'm a better professional, more loyal friend, and more confident woman because of her. So please join me in celebrating her tonight and welcoming this year's Emerging Leader recipient, Leah, Seay, and Anise, to the stage. Congratulations.
Wow, good evening. There's a lot of people in this room. Erin, I am just so beyond thankful for our friendship over the course of 10 plus years now. You have just been an amazing person in my life. I continually learn from you about the type of professional I aspire to be and the type of leader I aspire to be. So thank you for being here and for our friendship. That means the world to me. 8 years ago, I sat in this exact room somewhere in the far left corner. As I reflect on the divine events that led up to that night and thereafter, there was a divine domino effect that set the course of my career into motion. As a college student, I was so broke that when the Planck Center began accepting applications for students to attend the gala, I didn't even apply. Knowing my situation, Dr. Carla Gower, Jessica White, and a few other incredible humans pulled together enough money for me and other students to attend as long as we could cover our airfare. So I begged my dad for $200 for the cheapest flight I could find on Expedia and delusionally promised him that if he gave me the money that night, I would land a job. The event itself was a whirlwind. I was originally placed at the McDonald's table, but I quickly learned at check-in that I had been moved to sit with General Motors. All of my strategic research about Big Macs and McFlurries went down the drain as I frantically panicked about my very limited knowledge of the auto industry. What was most surprising was that night, when I spoke with a GM executive, we didn't talk about PR one bit. We connected over stories about the farmer's market and a great strawberry pie I had recently made. As the night wrapped, she asked what I was doing the next summer. She explained to me the GM had already closed their internship applications, but that if I sent her my resume that night, she would see what she could do. That executive ended up hiring me for the internship, and my boss from that role is in the room tonight. Hi, Nicole. And she helped offer me a full-time role after I finished my master's degree, launching my career in public relations. As I reflect on how special this room is tonight and my career to date, shaping global communications initiatives at some of the world's most iconic brands, from launching vehicles at General Motors, to managing high-stakes profiles and crises at Amazon, to running global product PR for Uber Eats, and now leading global consumer communications for ChatGPT at OpenAI, the common thread has been the incredible mentors, bosses, and industry professionals who saw far more in me than I did in myself. They've championed my big ideas, coached me through career decisions, and gave me tough love when it was needed. To the Planck Center Board of Directors, thank you for continuing to believe and invest in me. I wouldn't be where I am without you today. To the mentors in the room, make it your mission to determine how you'll make a difference for someone else tonight. Being in this industry has taught me that the greatest privilege of leadership is not what we accomplish alone, but how we help others achieve their potential. To the students in the room, and there are a lot of you all, you are amazing, and I'm so excited as you dive into this dynamic, ever-evolving profession. Your voices matter and have the ability to shape perspectives on a global scale. My only ask is that in pursuit of your dreams, you always seek truth, champion diversity, equity, and inclusion, and tell meaningful stories that make the world a better place. To my mom and dad who are here tonight, thank you for being my first and most lasting example of leadership. Your unwavering support has shaped how I show up for others around me. To my phenomenal husband, Alabade, who's also in the room tonight, if there were a Friends of the PR Industry Award, it would go to you. You relentlessly challenge me to invest my time and our family resources into young professionals, fund scholarships for students, and motivate me to better serve those around us. I love you. And to my mentors, mentees, friends, and family in the room tonight, who continue to celebrate my wild dreams, put up with the time differences as I've lived abroad, and always keep it real, you are my inspirations and daily reminder of God's gracious love toward us. In closing, as we look toward the future, remember that skills and hard work are just the starting point. So let's push ourselves to embrace authenticity, seize every opportunity, and carve out spaces where every voice is heard, making this industry a better place for those to follow. Together, we can build a legacy rooted in truth and driven by compassion, one that inspires the next generation to carry it forward with pride and purpose. Thank you all so much. Good night.
We've reached the halfway point of awards, so thank you. No, it's great to be here tonight. Thank you to the Planck Center for putting this award on. I'm Mike Cummins, and I have the honor and privilege to introduce a man who needs no introduction, but he's the man who's probably had the single most impact on my career, and that's John Harris. I was holding for applause, so please. And I'm also lucky enough to stand up here and talk about one of John's favorite topics, which is John. John and I have worked together at 3 companies over 20 years almost, and it's a long time. And people say, why do you work with John so much? And honestly, it's because every day, John and I find some reason to laugh at something. We work hard, we write, we edit, we go to meetings, too many meetings. We talk. John talks way more than I do. We listen. We do all the things that communications professionals do. But still, we find a way to laugh, even when the times are tough. And there's been some tough times and tough issues over those 20 years. But John's not receiving an award in comedy tonight, unfortunately. He's receiving the Legacy Award for his commitment to mentoring. And as one of his many mentees, I can assure you this is very well deserved. Now, throughout his time at PR agencies like Ketchum and Medicus and his work on the corporate side with Sara Lee, like Ron Culp, Hillshire Brands, and now ConAgra Brands, John has always taken the time to help others move forward in their careers. Now, I remember the first time I met John, and you might remember this too. We both worked at Sara Lee Corporation. I was in corporate communications. John was running brand comms. He took me to lunch, and just to get to know each other, I was pretty new to the organization. We talked about the company, we talked about an impending company move to the suburbs and how we were handling that. We talked about who the best 80s hair metal band was. So we covered all the usual topics. We both laughed until we had tears in our eyes, and maybe we fell in love that day, John. But that lunch, it was fun. But it led to, honestly, a better relationship between corporate communications and brand communications, which was something that the company really needed. And it gave me an ally in a large global company when I was just getting my feet wet. And that was important to me, and it was a big help. So there's a method to his madness, believe it or not. And over the years, I've had the pleasure of continuing to learn more and more from John. The importance of nurturing relationships. We know John has more relationships than most people in this room. He knows everybody. When to choose your battles, how to promote your work internally, which is something that I don't do as much and a lot of PR people don't do. He's always encouraged me to take on more. He regularly brings me to meetings, even when I'm not invited, which I think is kind of funny. But he's like, no, you belong here. And he just brings me in, and next thing you know, I'm sitting in a meeting and contributing. And it's been a huge help for my career. But he does that for a lot of people because he's always thinking about how to help others. Whether it's a CEO, his fellow senior leaders, or someone new to the company, fresh out of school, John welcomes them into his office, no matter how busy he is, and they'll be treated to his open mind, valuable advice, a pep talk, even a song. I mean, this guy can do it all. And of course, he's formally mentored a lot of people. Our company has a mentorship program, and John participates in that. And a lot of people in this room might even be on the receiving end of that. But it's the informal mentoring and the career advice that he doles out and the plain caring that he does when no one is watching that makes him really special. And I'm going to give you a few examples. John once received a call from someone who was looking for a job, which is something I think happens about once an hour in his life. And they wanted to network. And John found out that this person had been sent to him from a professional recruiter. So when the recruiters are sending people to John for career advice and to help them land their next job, you know that this man is connected and he's known and well known as a mentor to others. Another time he sent me a resume from someone he knew, and also something that happens fairly regularly. And I said, who is this person? He said, oh, it's my pharmacist's daughter. I'm like, my pharmacist is whoever's at the CVS when I go to pick up a prescription. John has nurtured a relationship with this pharmacist and is now mentoring this person's daughter. I mean, it's unbelievable. But it's no surprise to me and many of you that John is receiving the Legacy Award tonight. He's left quite a legacy, and he's certainly not done, because mentoring is a part of his DNA, and he truly cannot stop himself from asking, how can I help? And that's why he serves on about 327 nonprofit boards right now. But if you don't know John, if you're one of the few in the room who don't know John, please introduce yourself tonight, and you'll probably have a friend for life. And if you already know him, please congratulate him on this honor. But do me a favor, when you're talking with him tonight, ask him the simple question, John, is there anything I can do for you? I'm not sure that people ask him that very often, but he deserves it. And it's also a great habit to get into, and if you keep asking people that and keep helping people, it'll pay dividends not only for you, but the person that you're offering to help. And if you can do it even half as well as John has done, you might find yourself up here one day receiving an award for mentorship. So without any further ado, allow me to introduce the man of the hour, the tower of power, the king of swing, John Harris.
Gosh, Mike made me cry. My gosh. And I want to thank Mike for reading that script just as I wrote it. So thank you very much, Mike. You could have cried a little, but it's okay. It's all right. What a truly special evening this is. I am beyond honored to receive the Planck Center's Legacy Award and grateful to the great Bridget Coughing. I don't know where Bridget is, but I know that she recommended me and nominated me, so thank you so much, Bridget. It's humbling to stand here before all of you, recognized for doing something that I love in an industry that's given me so much over the last 3 decades, and to be in such impressive company. I am just so appreciative. Words do not even capture it. And over the years, I've learned a lot about the value of character, integrity, and the importance of being a considerate and generous colleague. I've mostly ignored those lessons, but I learned them nonetheless. I'm kidding. That sounded a lot better in rehearsal. I want to begin by thanking my incredible family, to my beautiful wife, Allie. Allie, please stand up. Everyone else asks for their wives to stand up. You have to. You are truly the real brains behind this operation, and the only one who truly can survive managing me. To our children, Maddie, who is here tonight, so she's my favorite, naturally, and the others, Carly and Alex, who are not here tonight. You're all on your own incredible paths now, but no matter where I go or what I achieve, my greatest success will always be knowing that I'm your dad. And of course, I'd like to thank my 6-year-old Cavapoo Winnie, who has been one of my greatest mentors as well. I'd like to recognize my amazing parents, Linda and Morty, and the best in-laws on earth, Rick and Miriam Scharfman. Thank you so much for your unwavering love and support. My goodness, I've had the pleasure to work with some extraordinary teams and leaders throughout my career, from the agency world at places like Ketchum and Medicus to the Fortune 500 stage with PepsiCo and Sara Lee and Hillshire Brands and now ConAgra Brands. And my amazing team is here tonight, so I'm so grateful for all of you being here. And I have to tell you, I have a bit of imposter syndrome. I'm just a kid from Wayne, New Jersey. I was talking to Cheryl Forsatz about it, but thank you very much. We've got some people from Wayne tonight, thank you. I'll meet you at Vinny's Pizzarama. I was humble beginnings. You know, when I was young, my dad was mentally ill and had a very hard time holding and keeping a job. And even though I was young, I vowed that I would dedicate my life to helping others in any way I could. And that's a promise I kept. I can't keep my promise of a diet, but that promise somehow I kept. And I live by it every single day. Even my path into public relations was anything but direct. I started at Rutgers as a pre-med student, switched to pre-law, and when I ran out of majors my mother could brag about, I settled on communications, and naturally she, of course, was thrilled. Back in the early 90s, communications didn't have the prestige it carries today, but something drew me in. I don't know. Maybe it was the low pay. Maybe it was the long hours. Or it could have been being managed by someone 8 months older than me, who yelled a lot. I'm kidding, of course. They were 9 months older. What really attracted me and continues to intrigue me today is the thrill of crafting stories and narratives that can inspire change and shape public perception. It's a career built on passion, strategy, storytelling, and most important, as Mike said, relationships. And let's be honest, we are all only as good as the dear friends we keep and surround ourselves with. And as I mentioned, there's a very, very special group of CCOs that I stay in touch with across the country and actually around the world, and I'm so grateful for those folks as well. Tonight I want to highlight a few mentors who have helped shape my career. My friend and CEO, Sean Connolly, who taught me that no one wants to follow a pessimist. The late Brenda Barnes, who showed me that it's okay to be tough but never be mean. There's never a reason to be mean. Gil Bash, who was my very first mentor, who instilled the importance of setting clear goals and that nothing ever will beat hard work. To Bill Heyman, who drilled into me the value of creating and building authentic and long-lasting relationships. Rich Lawrence from my Pepsi days, who emphasized that knowing your business inside and out is truly the key in having a real impact. And Rick Sharfman, my father-in-law, who taught me everything else. I love you, Dad. Each of these individuals and so many others, some here tonight, like Ron Culp, have left a lasting mark on my career and on my life, in my life. Their wisdom, encouragement, and support have all been invaluable, and I hope I've made you proud. Mentorship is the backbone of growth, not just in public relations, but in any industry. In our field, it's especially critical. Mentors just don't teach skills, they build confidence, spark ideas, and shape the next generation of professionals. It's not just about giving advice, it's about creating a space of continuous learning, support, and guidance, and giving back all the time. For me, the most rewarding part of my career has been watching those I've mentored, my wonderful mentees, grow into extraordinary leaders. And the truth is that I've learned much more from them than they've ever learned from me. Seeing their successes has been a constant source of pride and inspiration for me. As Mike said earlier, sometimes these awards go to people who might be wrapping up their careers, and I thought, well, geez, does the Planck Center know something I don't? But here's the thing. I do feel in many ways, and I've spoke with so many students tonight, and it was so invigorating, and I'm so excited because I know the future of our industry is in great hands, great hands. And I have to tell you, for me, I'm just excited about the future of our industry and the amazing things that the very talented professionals in this room and out there are going to achieve and accomplish. I look forward to continuing my career and staying a big part of it all, learning, mentoring, and contributing every step of the way. In closing, I want to thank my fellow inductees and everyone here tonight. Words really do not describe how much this award means to me and to the Planck Center. Thank you for this incredible honor. This is an evening I will never forget. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. I'm Grant Deedy from Zeno Group. I'm a Planck board member, and I am the closer. So it has been a complex week for communicators, but tonight has been easy. Connecting with industry colleagues and friends, celebrating mentorship, and inspiring the next generation of PR pros. I'm going to do some quick housekeeping here. We're going to thank the sponsors again. Raising money for events like this these days, you guys, is a grind. So thank you to everybody who bought a ticket tonight and the people the companies and the agencies that stepped up as sponsors. It is hugely appreciated. Mark your calendars. Next year in this room, November 6, 2025, the date is already set. We want to see all of you back here again. And once we wrap up here in a few minutes, the honorees and the presenters, we're going to take one more last group picture here to the left of the stage. We do want to do one more round of thank yous to Carla Grauer, the director of the Planck Center, and her team for the incredible job that they did. Is Brian Butler here, the Dean of the Communications School at University of Alabama? Is Brian here? There he is. And the Emerging Leaders Committee, who has just done an incredible job of helping to organize this as well. Thank you to all of you. So last and most important, our most special guest tonight is the students that made the trip to Chicago for what has been a special couple of days here. I hope that you are feeling inspired and made a lot of connections. And to those in the room who are like me, who feel very blessed in their career, I urge you to continue mentoring and coaching, but also to not just open doors, but kick some down to help these kids. And to that end, last thing, I'm going to ask, last year at this event, I met a young student, a grad student at University of Alabama, Raven Young. Raven, you want to stand up? I met Raven here. She stayed in touch with me. She put in the work. She got an internship at Zeno, and as of last Friday, she is my newest colleague at the agency. That's what this night is about. Thank you, everybody, for coming. The bar is going to stay open, I think, for one more round, but have a great night, and we'll see you all next year.